Hi, welcome to this lectures on maintenance strategy. This is a very wide area and I will have a 5 more lectures on this topic. This is just a simple introduction of the whole lecture series. Now I'm going to describe the word strategy. The word strategy is derived from the Greek word strategos, meaning general's plan. If you look at the history of the word, even in modern time, this word was first used by the army, the military people. What is the strategy of army? And as we know, the strategy is the one thing that wars are won or lost due to the strategy, not due to the what resources you have, what what type of skill you have. It is the strategy that matters. This is the most commonly used word in business world, and sometimes I say most commonly misused word in business world. People say something, use the word strategy, but mean totally different things. Sometimes they mean plan, sometimes they even mean mission, but they will say we are on a strategic mission. So this word is a very, very commonly used, misused word, and that's why there is a book, a strategy safari by a famous guru of management, Henry Mintzberry. He wrote about this like a strategy safari, blind man, and elephant. You remember those story about 7 blind men and elephant. So everyone has its own story about strategy. For different people, strategy means different things. We'll be coming to that later on. It also described as the art and science of deployment of resources to achieve business goals and objectives. A strategy is not only art or science, it's a mixture of both. Sometimes art because what type of a strategy, what type of people, where people will be located, which form it will be located, very difficult to describe by science. And science comes like logistics, where, what location, what angle, and how you will be deploying your resources, etc. It becomes science. It's a mixture of art and science to achieve business goals, etc. And also, a strategy needs to be developed in advance with a purpose. When you start a business or when you are in a business, a strategy is the most important item before you execute your tasks. So it has to be decided. Like in case of maintenance, we are going to discuss like what type of maintenance strategy we should have before operations are put into actions, before you start your production plants, etc. So it is often and more or less always strategy is decided in advance. When war is to be start, you have some form of a strategy. How you will tackle your war, how you will go in, how your army will be deployed. This is like you have blueprint we call also. On a paper it is available. Okay, once we have seen, let us define what is meaning of maintenance strategy. We are talking maintenance, so we'll narrow down our focus to maintenance only. In case of maintenance, maintenance strategy is a plan of actions designed to achieve the defined maintenance objectives and is aligned to the corporate strategy. So there are two important words here. Designed to achieve the defined maintenance objective. Like if I have maintenance objective that I will not allow any failure here. That's a maintenance objective. And then I have to develop a strategy like that. And is also aligned to the corporate strategy. You cannot have your own maintenance strategy. It has to be part of the organization strategy or corporate strategy. Like one more example, like even if I don't have resources, I cannot go and buy from outside because corporate strategy doesn't allow me to buy goods and services from outside. So it is it needs a more analysis. It needs to be connected to the corporate goals and etc. So in summary, we can say maintenance strategy is a management methods used in order to achieve maintenance goals. Simply, you can define like any management methods that is used in order to achieve the maintenance objectives or business objectives, etc. When we discuss a strategy, we need to look what are the factors that influence. As I have been telling, maintenance for different people means different, and that is because people look at the different influencing factors. Some people take the big picture, some people only consider a couple of them influencing factors. Then you will have a different type of a strategy. We'll try to list some of them here. The most important one is maintenance objectives. That has an impact on maintenance strategy. Means that maintenance objective, maintenance mission decides why maintenance organization is there and what maintenance organization wants to achieve. Once you decide that part, then you need to have resources, then you need to have plan, then you need to have detailed resources deployed at different places, etc. So maintenance objective is the most critical and most influencing factors. Second one is the technical characteristics of your asset. If your assets are in a very good shape and your assets are modern, then you need a different type of strategy than your assets are very old in a bad shape. So you have to understand the technical characteristics given by like age, how many hours they have worked, what is the condition, etc. Third one, internal resources. When we talk about internal resources, what type of skill available inside the company, what is the strength of the maintenance organization, like I mean the size of the organization, capacity of the organization. Do we have all those inside the company? Or sometimes you don't have the skill. Do such skill available outside? Then I'll be happy to develop a separate strategy. I can outsource. We'll be discussing all these factors in detail in future in some of the lectures. So external resources. So if I have an operation here, an organization, but I have also external resources, then I feel comfortable as and when I need, I can go and buy resources from outside. Or if I don't have those resources outside the organization, then I have to build those resources inside the company. And these factors also influence what type of strategy you have, what type of organization you want to build, what type of organization you want to develop. Then sometimes we do these mistakes. We forget about the geographical location of operation. If I have a oil drilling rig inside the sea, 100 kilometers inside the sea, I need to have a different type of a strategy than I have a drilling rig on the ground off the shore, on the shore. So on the shore and off the shore, for the same type of plant may have a different type of maintenance strategy. So, and also many times if the operations are located in a remote area, we need to have a different type of monitoring strategy, etc. So we'll be discussing all these issues in detail. But geographical location forms an important part in deciding what type of strategy we should choose, what sort of strategy we should deploy. And of course, when I buy an asset, often a package we buy with a product support packages like OEM, original equipment manufacturers. They support the operation for 5 years, 3 years, depending on the agreement you have and you have a contract you have. So what type of product support is inbuilt in the asset or we are buying it will also influence setting of the maintenance strategy. So these are some of the terms, but last but not the least, I say, when you develop a maintenance strategy, a statutory requirements forms a critical and important part. We should never forget it. If you forget this, legislation, government will stop your operation. So before finalizing, you have to look what type of regulations are available. We have to fulfill the requirements like related to the like a carbon emission, related to the safety, health, environments, type of like a type and structure of the shifts, working conditions, etc. That needs to be taken into account. Now I will be looking to some of these influencing factors in detail, some in brief. Let's look at the first one, maintenance objective. What are the factors that influence setting of maintenance objective? I said you in the beginning, maintenance strategy gets influenced by maintenance objective, and this is one of the most important item, most important influencing factors. So we are looking into a little bit more detail. First one is production goals. What is the goal of the production department? So maintenance objective has to be aligned to the production goal of the company. Otherwise, you will not be able to deliver the required capacity, required volume of the products, etc. When I say volume, like how much volume production department wants to produce and how much many hours of machine hours they need it. Similarly for the capacity, what is the production capacity per hour, etc. We have to guarantee through maintenance. Also availability. What form of availability, how much machine should be available per shift, per day, per week, etc. Number of hours. And after talking to them, then only you can plan your maintenance, type of maintenance, preventive maintenance or run into failure maintenance, etc. And of course, timing. How much time you need to run the machine continuously or with a break. All these things are explained, understood, then only you can develop the right maintenance objectives. Second one is the asset characteristics. As I said you previously, the age, condition. If you have an old machine, you need to do more maintenance. Then you should have a well-defined objective to serve the machine in a different way than a new machine. Availability. What is the availability of such machines? Do you have many machines? Do you have less machine? When you look at the production goal and age and characteristics of assets, you need to synchronize these things. Whatever machine is available in the market, can we replace? There are many issues to be looked into that. So asset characteristics, number, size, volume, standby numbers, etc. has to be taken into account when you are defining maintenance objectives. If I need, let's say for mining production, I need 16 trucks and I have a 25 trucks, I have some slack in my planning. But if I need 16 trucks and I have only 18 trucks, then I need to be very, very effective, efficient, and I have to be on my toes to deliver 16 trucks out of 18. So these are some of the issues we need to be understand. Availability, and of course deployment. I may have a large number of trucks, 25, but they are located some 20 kilometers, 5. So we have to know where resources are deployed, how they are deployed, where they are located, etc. Will also impact the maintenance objective. When we see these two, the next one is the health. That is governed by the legislation, but also by corporate social governance. Like if you want to ensure a good health of the people working, then you would like to reduce the noise. Let's say you are working in a plant. Usually noise are a signal. I will be looking to the vibrations, etc. It's like a unwanted vibration creates a unpleasant working environment. Like if the sound level is more than 80 decibel or 70 decibel, depending on the regulation in a country, it's not good for the people. Their efficiency goes down, they feel tired, they didn't feel good. So these things, issues has to be taken into account while defining maintenance objective. And of course, environment. This is a talk of the time. It's equally important as safety. If your plant is not able to fulfill the environmental requirement, ecological requirement, it may be shut down by government legislation. So you have to be very careful how you are meeting the environment. Then question comes, what maintenance has to do with environment? Yes, if you don't maintain your system, it will have more obnoxious gas emission. It will create more environmental problem. So maintenance contributes indirectly or indirectly to environmental issues and all. To achieve sustainability goal, maintenance maintenance provides lot of items. Like if you have well maintained machine, you consume less energy, you have less exhaust gases, etc. And that's an environmental issue. So you have to look into the what is your focus on environment and what objective you will be defining your objective. And last but not the least, safety. If your plant is not well maintained, it may have safety issues. It may lead to accidents. So maintenance objective is defined in such a way to take care of most of these items, etc. Also, when we talk maintenance strategy, we have to look into our resources, what type of resources we have. Or as I told you earlier, I am just bringing it back in a different like examples, like what type of plant you have, like a old plant, new equipment, what type of labor you have, like your internal resources. This is a resource, skilled labor. If I don't have a skilled labor, I cannot have a very advanced and or skilled incentive strategy, etc. So we have to look for something simple. Or organization, what type of organization we have, like internal or external, and also this organization is deployed, like I'm not allowed to work in 3 shifts or 2 shifts, and I'm maintenance organization is only allowed to work in night shifts. These are the issues you have to look into that, analyze before you finalize your strategy. Organization can be internal, external, as I said to you. Now, when you want to look into your resources, you understand your influencing factors. Now you need to ask questions, like fundamental basic questions before developing. Like what should it look like? I want to develop a strategy. Is it going to look like an just for fun, like an elephant, as I was referring, or like an orange, or like a blueprint or some flow diagram? So we have to decide how our strategy is going to look like. And it's one of the critical question. And once I decide it will look like blueprints, it will look like instructions on the paper, then how should I develop it? Means what actions I have to take, what skill I need, what resources, what information I need, etc. And then development is done. We have a place strategy, but it has got no meaning. How to implement what we have developed, how to implement this strategy into real world, into our day-to-day work. And it's not enough only to implement, how to monitor and control it. Means, is it giving the same effect I was expecting? And if it is going not in right direction, how can I control it, adjust it? So these are some of the questions one has to ask before you start your journey on a strategic roadmap, develop a strategy roadmap to develop a strategy, etc. Let's look into different forms of strategy in being used by the industry. One is a most commonly used strategy in the past, about 100 years ago, or rather 200 years ago, when industrial revolution started. People used to have mostly failure-based strategy. Then it became time-based preventive maintenance strategy, and last 30-40 years, more and more organizations are adopting condition-based strategy. Like you do maintenance when there is a need based on the only condition, not on the time, and you never allow system to fail. Then you have a planned or unplanned. You do maintenance as per your plan. You create a blueprint and decide the date, take the machine out for maintenance. That's a planned. Or unplanned, when it fails, or just randomly you pick up some machine, even it is working for maintenance, etc. Proactive or reactive. I'm just introducing you the terms. I'll be coming back again. Proactive means like I should have the strategy that I will not allow any machine to fail. Means I am proactively preventing failures. I am proactively trying that all machines should deliver what they are expected to deliver, that deliver the function. Or reactive, something fails and then I repair it. These are some of the in-house or outsourcing. Just we talked internal, we want to do the job internally. I want to have a strategy that no, I will be outsourcing complete or partially. We'll be talking more detail again on this topic. Want to build your own organization internal or want to have an external organization? You can help to build the external organization or just you use the existing organization outside your corporation. Need based or opportunity based. This is also very interesting. Sometime we need to perform maintenance tasks based on the requirement of the system or requirement of the production department. But some maintenance strategy also allows us to do opportunity based. For example, if I'm taking a car for changing oil, I can check even the brake oil, I can check even like other parts, brakes, etc. because I don't need to come back again. And by doing opportunity based maintenance, practicing this, millions can be saved because you can deliver the system availability can be very high and can be achieved higher level of availability because you need not take the machine for a small breakdown to workshop because they have already been corrected during previous checks, etc. So opportunity based maintenance is is really popular for a complex system if you have a complex asset, etc. And also a strategy is not only when you have in the operation phase, you can start thinking about maintenance strategy from design phase itself. As a design engineer, I can design out failure, and that is also called design out maintenance. Or if I can't design out failure, I can design the system for maintenance. It will be easy to maintain. It will be easy to inspect. It will be easy to replace. That's a design for maintenance. This is a strategy during design phase. So we looked into the maintenance strategy at during operation phase, different strategy, and also during design phase. So you can start the whole already maintenance strategy selection from the design phase itself. Okay, now I'm going to introduce some of these alternative strategy a little bit in more details. Commonly this is when we are in a business operation or a maintenance, we find planned and unplanned very two types of strategy, planned actions and unplanned actions. And planned is a very popular form where preventive maintenance and corrective maintenance are executed, tasks are executed. In unplanned also you have a corrective actions, and both are the similar. Like if I'm driving my car and I find there is my wiper is not working, then I can plan it to take it to, it was not planned, but I have to take it for corrective action. I have to do it because it's a critical item. Or a brake, I have to do it. So all are corrective. But in plan, if let's say there is my cabin light is not working, so I plan it to take it next week for corrective action. So corrective actions can be both planned and unplanned. So preventive maintenance. Looking at the preventive maintenance, it can be period based or time based or condition based. Period based is a calendar based and use based. And this is a very popular form of preventive maintenance being practiced by many organizations, especially when you are in a maintenance of road street lights. They change the many countries and in many regions they change the light every September before winter comes. That's called calendar based. Hundreds of thousands of bulbs are in a good condition. Even then they change the bulbs because changing one bulb is very expensive. So it's much cheaper to change all the bulbs because individual bulb costs so little. So it's much cheaper, I'm telling, to change them 500,000 bulbs in one day or one go. Then is the use based. Many times we change and we plan the maintenance, how many hours you have run. And one is a very good example, like you change the oil of your car at 10,000 kilometers, like a use based example. So that's a use based preventive maintenance example. Then condition based. It can be subjective and objective. Subjective is like I hear something as an individual and say this machine is not working properly. That's subjective. There is no instrument use. But in industry, commonly objective machines, like you want to be objective in your decisions, so you use some tools and some sensors, etc. And this objective can also be divided into two parts: offline, like you go with handheld equipments and measure every 8 hours or every day or every week. That's an offline. Or you collect some sample, send it for analysis. But then also many many assets are monitored online continuously. Like sensors are continuously sampling the health of machine, health of assets every seconds or every hour, or depends on that. So you are monitoring online. So these are some of the example of the maintenance strategy being used by industries. We'll also look at organization. What are the organization in practice? When you developing a maintenance strategy related to organization, there can be two scenario. If my organization is new, I have a new operation, then either I can build an internal organization, like I built my maintenance organization. I employ people with mechanic, electricians, etc., buy infrastructures. And also I can decide here to partially outsource if there are, it's my own decision, outsource some very highly skilled job or a specialist job to some outside agencies, like a partial outsourcing. Or else I can choose not to have any maintenance organizations. I can choose to not to have any maintenance organization, and I help if there is no organization to build external organization. This is a new topic for debate. Or I outsource to existing external organization and everything can be outsourced to that, called full outsourcing. I'll be discussing this topic. We'll have a dedicated lectures on this topic also. Now I'll be introducing you two school of thoughts or two different approaches of maintenance. When you talk about maintenance strategy, it's never complete without talking about TPM or RCM. TPM is human centric. Here focus is on how to change the organization culture, how to change the operator behavior. It's a small systematic things, like much more related to individuals, group activities, etc. And that's why it's called human centric. Second one is RCM, and that is system centric. The system centric means it's much more focused on the system, how you are analyzing the system. And as you see, TPM and RCM can be implemented anywhere because it's much more focused on system. Then again, TPM is dependent on people's culture. Some it's easily adapted, but some countries it's very difficult to implement due to individual reasons and cultural background, etc. When we talk about maintenance strategy, it will be incomplete without talking about new technology. How new technology have changed the role of, or rather implementation or development of maintenance technology. As we see, there should be a roadmap and sufficient budget to introduce new technology in maintenance department. Now we are living in a technological changing era, digital era. Things are changing so fast, and if maintenance organization is not having budget to implement new technology, there is a chance, and almost with certainty I can say, you'll not be able to deliver availability from your machines, modern machines. So now more and more companies are allocating a special budget, or rather I will say investment budget, investment capital in maintenance so that new technology can be implemented. We can say like this, the rapid development of new technology and their logical application makes the maintenance cost effective. If you implement new technology, like if you are using sensors to monitor, or you are using an Internet of Things, you can monitor things, you can do maintenance exactly when needed, not waiting, not allowing things to fail, etc. And that really reduces the maintenance cost. Maintenance becomes more cost effective. And of course, if you invest $100, your return on investment is much higher than without investing that $100. Sometime I have read your return on investment is as fast as 2 years. So it's a new technology investment is a things to think about. And of course, some of the example of new tech like sensor technology. Sensor technology is evolving very fast. Sensor prices are going down. It's much easier to use them. It's so simple to use now sensors. It's no longer complex to deploy sensors in our operations. So sensors technology is becoming cheap, and of late in last 4 or 5 years, you know, the amount of data has increased dramatically. And sometimes people make a statement that we are collecting every hour so much of data. what we are collecting, have collected for last 100 years. So what we data collected for last 100 years, we are collecting every hours. Our data means information about our plant health, and that's why we have some tools like big data analytics that will tell us what is the problem, when it is going to fail, and what is the best solution. You see, technological development. This new technology, this new way of working, new data analysis facilitate finding exact time of when machine is going to fail, and I can take it out of operation, and what is the best solution, etc. So this is big data analytics is facilitating that. And of course, in industrial internet of things that facilitate connecting different operation, different equipments, reconfiguring their working loads, etc., increasing the life. Even if machine is going to fail, by technology you can prolong some operating life by few hours to few days if the need arises for that. Artificial intelligence, I don't need to highlight this one. Everyone is talking, and artificial intelligence will facilitate taking correct decisions using huge amount of data, using data from sensor, using data from the company's enterprise resource planning systems, understanding of where are the back end processes, like where are the repair people standing, and front end processes like what are the requirement of the customers. So artificial intelligence is going to become mainstream of maintenance strategy. How we are going to use artificial intelligence, we have to use it properly, our problem is solved. Machine learning, that's a part of artificial intelligence. System will be learning itself and facilitating correct decision making. And digitization of maintenance work process. When we want to transform something for digital transformation, we need to focus on new technology. Digital transformation of maintenance work process will bring transparencies, will connect different working groups, and will remove double rework, etc., because you have all the information, and it will also enhance the effectiveness and efficiency of work processes. I will give you a couple of examples to see what is meant by this new technology application in maintenance. We are in our group especially, we are working for last 15 years with application of what we call e-maintenance, and it is built around the you remember everyone is talking about e-commerce, e-governance. So we also started using the word e-maintenance since 2000, for last 19-20 years ago. E-maintenance is nothing but when you integrate the maintenance processes with information and communication technology, it becomes e-maintenance. It facilitates decision making in real time and also facilitate monitoring equipment, system, etc. in real time. And sometimes we hear the word remote maintenance, and this type of maintenance are form of a maintenance when you execute the maintenance task without coming into contact with the machine or the assets. One good example is repair on a spacecraft. People execute maintenance tasks from NASA control room, and they execute their repair actions without touching the machine manually. They use the robots, etc. So this is two examples. You will also hear a smart maintenance, intelligent maintenance. These all are grounded on application on new and emerging technology, which is becoming more and more common in industries. Now coming to end, if you look, the purpose of maintenance strategy is to reduce the cost and deliver the production capacity, deliver the high availability, etc. So we can say like the primary determinant of maintenance cost is the maintenance strategy. Remember, whatever strategy you file, rather than any particular attribute of the craftsman or technology deployed. One good example I'll say, whatever good car I'm having but driving in wrong directions, I will never reach to the goal. And that direction selection is a strategic work. So coming to the end, summarizing the whole lectures, I can say we have looked into the influencing factors. So whenever you jump on the journey to a strategic formulation, you have to understand what are the influencing factors. for different operation, different type of influencing factors have more impact. So you have to be very clear about this point. Second one is selection of a strategy. It's you have a basket of a strategy available in the market, and you have to choose the best one that fits you. So you have to perform a very careful exercise, which one suits me best, and then you have to predict the roadmap, how you will go, and have alternatives, plan B, etc. Selection of strategy is important, and you have to ask right questions regarding to this, how to select. And of course, don't forget about the new technology. Thank you.